Mike Owens here, and today I'm joined by, dare I say, the baddest woman on the planet, Kayla Harrison, who returns to action in her third PFL final on Friday night. Kayla, always a pleasure to get your time. How are things with you
Yeah,
today?
no, thanks. No, I love talking to you. All good. I'm glad we made it work.
Of course, well, if it's been quite a little while since we last spoke, but obviously there's a bit of a difference given that we were in person last time and then now we're on the cameras. So
Yeah.
can you kind of walk me through the emotions post PFL London victory?
Yeah, it was good. I love London. I love the UK, going back there, sort of getting to relive all of the memories from when I won my Olympic gold and then having another great memory there. Um, it was nice. It was nice.
What was the key emotion? Was the one singular emotion? Because as you mentioned, there was so much history with you involved in London. Was the one key emotion that you felt?
Um, I mean, if I'm being real honest right now, if I'm gonna get real honest and just be Kayla, I think it
Yeah.
was pretty bittersweet. Um, when I competed at my first Olympics in London, my father was still alive. Um, my sister was still my sister. Um, it was just a different time, and I think a lot about what would I give up um, to have them still, and I would give it all up. So it was bittersweet.
Okay. I apologize for asking that question. I didn't
No,
mean
no,
to
it's
upset you
good.
at
No,
all.
it's good. I mean, it's the truth. I mean, my dad, I don't make it a secret. My dad committed suicide. Um, and I think it's important we talk about these things, no matter how painful it is. It's important that people know that they're not alone and that there is help if they ask for it. And I think it's important too to realize like the ripple effects of the choices we make. It's life is super fragile. And I just hope my dad knows how much I love him and that there isn't anything I wouldn't give to have him back in my life.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does, and I'm sure he's extremely proud of what you've accomplished. Let's change the subject a little bit from kind of past to present, if you like. We're going into this third fight against Larissa Pacheco, and obviously there's been a lot made of this fight. I know we talked about it, and you said it's not a rivalry in the common sense because you've won every round and every fight. But it's not really its own standalone fight, given the history kind of behind with you and Pacheco. So if it's not a rivalry and it's not your more standard fight, then what is it in your mind?
I mean, it's just another stepping stone. She's just another person in my way to me getting what I want. And I know she has a lot of confidence going into this fight. 5 knockouts, most, I think, first round. Not many women are doing that in the sport. So I know she has a lot of confidence. I know that I'm going to face the best version of her, but she's going to face the best version of me. And she didn't face the best version of me those last 2 fights. I was going through, I was, in the middle of a really bad, toxic, abusive relationship. I was struggling. I didn't have my kids. It was a different Kayla then. My mom had a stroke. There was a lot of shit going on.
Mm,
And I'm not making excuses at all. Like it is what it is. Life, life happens. Everyone
yeah,
has that they're going through. But she's gonna face the best me, and I'm gonna face the best her, and we're gonna see who wins. That's why we have fights.
of
You know,
course.
she gets another opportunity, and so do I. And I feel blessed and grateful that um I'm on this journey.
Of course. People, you mentioned there about the power, and people will obviously point to Pacheco's power as a key attribute, but it feels a little bit redundant. It feels a little bit too easy to just categorize Larissa Pacheco as a power puncher, and if she lands on Kayla, then that's how she wins. But so, from a more granular, from a more strategic perspective, what makes Larissa Pacheco such a good fighter in your eyes?
I think she's smart. I mean, I think she's a good fighter. I think she's a great fighter. I think she has a lot of experience. I think confidence is really important in this sport. People don't realize how I think intimidating it can be to step in a cage and have someone try and beat your ass. So confidence, the mental side of the game is very, very important. And I think she possesses that. And that's something you can't teach. That's something you can't, emulate. It's something that you have to earn, and you have to grow, and you have to make yourself. So I think those two things are important. And I think that she's patient. She has, she's good everywhere. She's got great power, but other than that, I think she's good everywhere. Got good ground game. She's got good awareness. She's a very good fighter. I think that she has the ability to be one of the best, just, not where I am.
If we, obviously there is a lot of, and I mean this with the greatest of respect, but a lot of, let's say, criticism about some of the opponents that you're facing in the PFL. And I don't mean that from myself, I mean that from the outside of you.
Of course.
So where would you rank Larissa Pacheco in, say, the UFC rankings or the Bellator rankings? Where do you think she fits in the overall?
I mean, I think she beats all those girls. I think that it's unfortunate that she doesn't get the credit she deserves. I think she doesn't speak English, so it's tough to market. I think that she's lost to me twice. That's tough to sell. But I think that in reality, she beats all of those girls, and that includes Cyborg. And I think she would give Amanda a really hard time. I'm not sure what would happen there. These girls are all front runners, though. I think that's the big difference.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of pound for pound list, I spoke with one of the PFL commentators a couple of weeks ago, Randy Couture, and we obviously got onto the subject of you. How could we not? And Randy said he deems you to be the #1 women's pound for pound fighter in the world at present moment. Do you feel with your accomplishments in the sport that you warrant that position, or do you think there's still more to go?
No, I think I have a lot more to do. It's like such a huge honor for him to say that to me. I mean, coming from him, that means the world to me. But I know that I have a lot to prove still to myself. There's a lot still to do.
How much does a third PFL world title add to your accomplishments, add to what you've been able to do to the sport? Does this feel like a sense of accomplishment, or is it just another PFL world title and solidifying your position, if you like?
I mean, I think that the biggest, it's another PFL world title, but it's 3 in a row. And I think that is something that not many people are going to be able to do. So I'm excited for that opportunity. I like making it so that my accolades are hard to touch. No one's ever won an Olympic gold medal. No one's ever won 2. I think it'll probably be a long time before someone does it again. And, that's motivation for me. It's not about the money. It's not, I mean, it is about the title, but this year it's really been me versus me. And I think more importantly, the legacy is the 3 times, right? Like the legacy is the perseverance. The legacy is the determination. The legacy is not giving up and not taking a different path. Like, no, I'm not going to go over it. I'm not going to go under it. I'm going to go right through it. And that's really what I want my kids to know. They come to the gym and they see me crying and they see me working hard and they see me sweating and bleeding. And I want them to understand that, like, if you want something in life that's worth having, it's hard. It's difficult. It's a grind. And that's what 3 kind of signifies to me. Like 3 titles is, I don't think people understand how hard it is to have 4 fights in 6 months.
Look, serious question, and I'm not saying this, to flatter you or anything like that, but we've seen Schulte, we've seen Lance Palmer, and we've seen Ray Cooper III win 2 titles. And as the PFL grows and the competition and the brackets get even tougher in terms of matchups. Sorry,
just a sec, sorry.
As I mentioned there, Kayla, so as the PFL grows and the competition gets stronger and stronger, I mean this seriously, do you think 3 PFL world titles will be able to be accomplished by anybody else? Do you think this will be a record that you will hold?
Yeah. I mean, the only one I see being capable of doing it is Larissa. And I don't know. I mean, just because she's young, she's hungry, she's got the skill. But I'm not sure that I don't even know if they're keeping the 155. I have heard rumblings. So I don't know how she'll do at 145. I mean, we'll see. I think it's going to be tough.
Well, we've talked about this. We know that you've got one more fight on your contract post 2022 season. Two, excuse me. So obviously, I think you've confirmed that you won't be fighting in the 2023 season. Can you anticipate what it's going to feel like not fighting in the season format? Because as you mentioned, 4 fights in 6 months is no mean feat. Can you imagine what that's going to feel like?
Oh man, I have like I'm pretty excited. My focus is on Friday, so it's hard. I try not to get like super jacked up about all of that, but that's what I'm looking forward to. I mean, I haven't had a life, and I don't know. I mean, I started doing 2-a-days when I was 12 years old, so I haven't had a life in a long time, but there are a lot of things. I think that it's important for me to realize that balance is key in life. And I'm at a place where I'm ready to be patient and wait for the big fights. And, it's an obsession. So when I have a fight, I mean, I'm in the gym every day, no matter what. I take a week off and then I'm back in because I can't stand not being in the gym. I think I'm like, I got to get better. I got to get better. But I think it'll be good for my body to just train once a day. I think it'll be good for my mind. I think it'll keep the love of the sport alive inside of me. By the time I got done with judo, I was so burnt out and I hated it. So I think it's important for me to learn from those mistakes and realize like too much of a good thing is not a good thing. And I have so much I want to do. I mean, we just bought this beautiful farm. I want to fix my barn up. We're going to get some big animals, some horses, some goats, some stuff like that. I have, there are things I want to do with my kids. My son is 4 now. I want him to start playing sports. Kayla has been wanting to do all kinds of stuff that I haven't been able to sign her up for and to get done. I mean, we haven't even been to the beach. We live 20 minutes. Like, I can't remember the last time we went to, like, there are just things that I want to do with my kids. I want to be present. I want to, on Saturday, and it's also like an energy level thing, right? Like, I'm so tired by the time I get to Saturday and Sunday. Even I train on Saturday and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, we're going to go do this. We're going to go do that. But then it's like, I got to do the laundry. I got to make dinner. I got to catch up on everything that I slacked on during the week because I'm too tired to do it. And I'm still exhausted. Like I'm giving almost everything I have to my training and I don't have much left over. So they get like, all right, we're going to go blow bubbles outside so mom can sit in the chair and blow the bubbles, or we're going to go play with the chickens so mom can sit in the chair and watch you play with the chicken. Like, I want to be able to do those things with my kids. I didn't sign up to be a parent, like, and just like, all right, I want to be a good parent and I want to experience, I only get this time in their life once. They're only this young once, and it's going so fast already. I look at them and I can't believe how much they've grown and how much they've matured. And, life is going to pass me by if I'm not careful. So of course I have goals, I have dreams, fighting is a huge piece of that, but my children are my priority, and it's time that I start doing stuff that lets them know.
Of course. And it's just something I kind of wanted to talk about. And we've talked a lot about, perseverance and timelines and all of this. Do you have an internal kind of exit plan? And what I mean by that is, do you have something that you want to accomplish or an opponent that you want to beat before you retire? Is that kind of internal in your brain and already mapped out?
No. I mean, I think there are a couple different routes I could take to get to where I want to be. That could be an opponent or a person, or it could be different titles, different, I think there are multiple ways I can feel satisfied with my career. So I'm open, I'm really kind of like, again, I got to get through this first. I got to take this step first before I can think about the other steps. And I know that, I'm on God's time. It's his will. Whatever he has planned for me is what it's going to be. So I don't have exactly an exit strategy, but I'm aware that that day is not as far away as it was 2 years ago or a year ago. It's man, even just watching like Frankie Edgar, like this sport is so unforgiving. And he's my favorite fighter. He's one of the reasons I became an MMA fighter. I met him before I won my first Olympics, and I didn't know anything about MMA. I was 20 years old, and Ali was friends with my coach Jimmy, and he got me this supplement sponsor, and I had never had a sponsor before. I didn't know. So I came to New York to Henzo's to do a photo shoot, and I was so scared. Like, I was like, I had never done a photo shoot. I didn't. And here I am, and there's Frankie Edgar, and he's the champ at the time, and everyone's like, freaking out about him. And he was so nice to me, and just such a kind spirit, and like welcoming, and like down to earth. And I started watching him after that, and I was obsessed with Rocky when I was a kid. I used to watch all the Rocky movies like on repeat. I had the VHSs, and then I had the DVDs, and then I would watch them like every Christmas religiously. So on my Christmas break. And he was a real live Rocky. He was like a real live Rocky Balboa. And I became obsessed. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And he's one of the reasons I started MMA. And I think that watching his career and watching him, this sport is so unforgiving, and it's so brutal and fucking, it's the best and the worst, right? Like, it's the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And I know that time waits for no man or woman. And I know that I have to be prepared for that moment when it's time to walk away. No matter what I accomplish or don't accomplish, I have to be able to sleep at night,
Yeah, 100%. A couple more questions from me, because obviously the PFL made quite a large signing earlier on in the year with the signing of Aspen Ladd. I spoke with Aspen after the signing with PFL, and obviously I had to bring up your name. And she described you as potentially a fun challenge or a fun matchup. Do you see Aspen Ladd as an enhanced matchup? And what I mean by that is, do you see her as a step up in competition, a step up in challenge from the girls in this season?
To be honest, I haven't watched a ton of her. I saw a video where she described herself as like a tough, like a grinder and like a grappler, and she's gonna grind you out or something. And I was like, oh honey, you don't want to try that with me. So I'm not sure if that's the best idea. There ain't no one that can grind or grapple better than me on this planet. So no, I mean, I think for sure she's obviously, anyone who comes from the UFC, you consider them the elite of the elite. You consider them the top prospects. I'm not super impressed with anything at the moment. I haven't really watched, but again, when I get to that point, if we get to that point, I'll take a look and I'll figure it out.
Of course. Well, last one from me. What I would like you to do, because I anticipate in this fight weekend, in the weeks prior, you'll have been asked for predictions for this fight, and I'm sure you'll give the same answers to all of those. So what I would like to do is I would like to do something a little bit different. Could you please walk me through what an ideal day on the 25th of November looks like? What happens from when you wake up to when you go to sleep at night?
Well, the night before, I pack my bag, I get it all ready, lay out my lucky socks, lay out my American Top Team sweatsuit. I probably whoop everybody's ass in Uno and Rummy, just maintain my status as the queen. Go to bed a little late so that I can hopefully sleep in late. Hopefully I get a great night's sleep. Wake up at noon or 11 noon. Get my hair braided, do a little shakeout, relax, chill, put on my gear, say my prayers, head over to the venue, get a great warm up, get my hands wrapped, feel like $1 million. And remember during all of it, that this is my day, this is my purpose, and I'm not afraid to win. 25 hard minutes to prove that. One round at a time, 1 minute at a time, one breath at a time, one exchange at a time. Kayla Harrison, Olympic champion. Kayla Harrison, world champion. Kayla Harrison, three-peat.
Dare I say C5? I don't want to pay homage to Henry Cejudo too much, but if we've got 2 medals and 3 world titles, C5 could be on the
Did
cards.
Henry make a second Olympic team? I can't remember.
Oh, he was triple C, wasn't he? My mistake, because when he talks about coming and fighting,
Right now,
obviously
he has two UFC titles, but I can't remember if I know he tried to make another Olympic team, but I can't remember if did he make that team?
I was pretty sure he was Olympic champion, but
He is Olympic champion. He was Olympic champion, but what I'm saying is he won the Olympics and then he didn't even make the team the second time.
I see.
He didn't win 2 gold medals at the Olympics.
So he's one Olympic gold medal and he's 2 UFC titles. So he's triple C.
And ask him which is harder. Ask him which is harder. He knows.
I've seen the video.
He knows.
Kayla, thank you so much for your time as always, especially on Fight Week. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.
But the pleasure's all mine. Before we finish, Kayla, shout out your sponsors, shout out the social medias, and obviously shout out the foundation too.
Yeah, I want to thank my sponsors, Oxy Health. I've had a hyperbaric chamber this entire camp, and I can honestly say that it has really helped with my recovery and keeping me young and fresh and ready to kick ass. You know, after every single session, I try and get in, and it helps a lot. So thank you to them. I want to thank Bose. My kids have great dance parties because Bose speakers allows it to sound like a concert in our house. And I want to thank Redcon One. They've been an awesome sponsor coming on board not too long ago, and it's been really good to help fuel me and keep me again young, healthy, and ready to take on the day at my highest state of readiness. I want to thank everyone at American Top Team. I want to thank my mom. I want to thank the Pedros. I know that if it weren't for these people in my life, I wouldn't be able to do what I do every day. So I'm super grateful for all of them and everyone who's on Team Kayla behind the scenes, the team behind the team that makes it all happen. You saw Brian just brought me breakfast. There's just so many people who are an integral piece of this puzzle. So none of this would happen if it weren't for them. I encourage everyone to go check out the Fearless Foundation. You can find it on Instagram, fearlessfoundation.org or fearlessfoundation.org for their website. You can donate, you can learn more, you can buy the book Fighting Back and learn about child sexual abuse and how we can prevent it. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Thank you guys so much. Thanks everyone for loving me, for hating me, for doubting me, for praising me. It's all good energy to me, and I send nothing but love out back. And I'm excited to go do what I was born to do.